Hey guys, my name's Jaciel with Night Multimedia. Welcome to the first episode of Adobe Photoshop CS6 Tutorial Series for beginners. In this series, I will be showing you everything I believe a beginner should know and learn before becoming a successful graphic designer. Don't worry, I will teach you everything you need to know before you leave this series. In this first episode, we're going to be talking about a few settings I would like for beginners to set up before they use Photoshop. This will prevent them from having their program crash, along a few other things. Let's not waste any more time and let's get right to it. Open up Photoshop, and if you're in the Windows, you're going to go to File and scroll down to Preferences and then General. But for Mac users, you're going to go to Photoshop, Preferences, General. Now, in this first display here, what you want to do is, by default, zoom with scroll wheel is unchecked. You're going to want to check mark that. What this is going to do is enable you to scroll with your mouse wheel. And let me show you what I mean by that. Let's open up the file. Let's see if I go to my desktop. I got my image here. What I mean by that is, with your mouse selected, or not selected, but with your mouse wheel, you can scroll in to zoom in or scroll out to zoom out without having to be on the zoom tool itself. You can be on the select tool, the brush tool, any tool at all, and you can still zoom in and out. Now, if you don't have a mouse and you're on a laptop like me, you can use your touchpad and you can pinch in and pinch out to zoom in and out. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Now let's go back to Photoshop, Preferences, General. We're gonna go down to Interface. Here you can change the color of your overall interface. If you miss that old color in past Photoshop versions, you can go here. You can just browse through these. Just so you can go from dark to gray. It just depends on your preference and what you would like to work on. I personally like the dark color, so I'm just gonna stick with my dark color here. Another very important thing I would like to point out is, here you can change your UI font size. UI means user interface. You can change it from small, medium, or large, and when you change this, you're gonna have to restart Photoshop in order for this text setting to take effect. I'm gonna leave it in small since I don't want any changes done. Let's go to file handling. Here, by default, what you want to do is change this 10 minutes to 5 minutes. The reason I recommend this very much is because if you're working in a very complex project, you would want to have this saved every 5 minutes, because if you are working on a complex project, your computer might start lagging and eventually crash. So you want Photoshop to save your document every 5 minutes. And that's all from here. Let's go to, oh, and you can change if you want it to be always lowercase for your file extension and whatnot here. Let's go to performance. Now, by default, Photoshop is going to set this to 70%. I recommend to keep it around 80 or 85, depending on how much RAM you have. As you can see, I don't have much RAM, but if you have around 6 gigs of RAM, then 80 should be fine. But since I don't have that much, if you have 1 or 2 gigs, you're gonna want to set it to 60% or 65. I work fine in 70, so I'm just gonna leave it at 70. Also, you want to go here, graphics processor settings. If this is grayed out, I recommend you go out and buy a NVIDIA card, graphics card. That way you can use some of the features Photoshop has to offer, such as that zoom that we talked about. If you don't have this, you will not be able to use it, so I recommend you go out and buy one. Also, if you can upgrade your RAM with the bigger size, I recommend that also. You don't have to, but I really recommend that. And here you really don't need any of these. They're not very important. Plugins. This, if you enable this filters, you want to enable this. That way, when you add plugins to your Photoshop file, I mean Photoshop program, they will show up. Let me show you. They will show up over here in your filter, in your effects here. See how I have Magic Bullet, Red Giant, Nolan. These are all plugins, and they will show here for you. That is pretty much everything I would like to cover in this episode. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will try to answer every question it's posted. Also, if you like to keep in touch with this tutorial and see the further episodes of this series, be sure to subscribe, and also please like and leave a comment. It would really support me and motivate me to continue with this series. And I thank you for joining me here today, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching. Hasiel signing out.